Hi, this is Barry Johnston-Spooner of Autopilot.com. I say off autopilot, and I've called my potential work switching off autopilot, because the dilemma in our whole world at the moment, as far as I'm concerned, is that we often are functioning way too much on a script, a routine, a habit, an addiction, a compulsion or an impulse, or various other kinds of things, all of which are part of, as far as I'm concerned, what I call the autopilot. Now, the autopilot, most people think of that as just a way that they behave compulsively. But so far as I'm concerned, there's both how we take in things, which can be very scripted, or how we also put out things, what ways that we behave. So the autopilot, unfortunately, is that part of us that is both able to script and put us in a routine for how we actually behave, as well as how we listen. So there's a beginning to it. So what is it that I think that we're going to get by having a term like the autopilot? What I think that we get is something which defines what we're not. And that's helpful because we're mainly, a lot of the time, unfortunately, not awake. And to be awake would mean one would actually be what many people have said to us is like to be mindful. And being mindful is the antithesis of, that's the opposite of the autopilot. I first started getting ideas about and being able to explain some of what I understand about how we are caught by these various routines and so forth while I was conducting and leading groups on personal assertion. And the whole topic of being assertive hides mysteries within it, because lots of people think that they're being assertive and actually they're being kind of aggressive. And people who tend to be usually too passive end up, either they are terrified that they're going to become way too aggressive, so they stay being passive. And so there's a whole underlying issue, and when you look at assertion, that we're not really very balanced, and trying to find a balance between being not too aggressive on one side and not too passive on the other side is what led me to the idea of the autopilot.